Welcome, everyone. We are the Vinyl Community Guncles, and we are here again to do another thing that we did last week, which was do originals versus cover versions. We're choosing one cover version to go up against the original. We've all four chosen two songs each, and we will see who comes out on top. Is the original always the best? We found out last week that that's not necessarily the case, even though I usually say that it is. So yeah. We'll find out if that happens again. We've got 8 more songs. We are the Vinyl Community Guncles. I'm Robert Fitton, along with Mike from Hub Tunes, Richard from Calvin Wazoo, and ladies and gentlemen, the man who has brought his own cover version with him. It's Craig from Craig's Vinyl Plethora.
Mm-hmm.
And Daisy, the remake.
Yeah. Oh, sweet baby.
Which
girl.
one do you like better?
Yeah, they always like Daisy better. They always like Daisy better. So,
man, she's awesome.
She is the best dog in the whole wide world.
Craig's song is up first. We are starting off with a real hot one here.
We are starting off with a hot one here. So, yeah, Seasons in the Sun. Terry Jack versus Black Box Recorder. Thank you very much.
Oh, I'm up. Great. Okay, well, this was only the second song. I had no idea who Black Box Recorder is. I've never heard this version. This is the only one where I didn't even know the band. So, and of course, I know Terry Jacks. I listened to them both. I listened to Black Box Recorder a couple of times. Terry Jacks, obviously, I've heard that thousands of times. Had that on KTEL comps, and all. I think I had the 45. I had so many cut versions of that. Yeah, I this is one. It's just I'll always go back to the Terry Jacks version. I don't think it really needs to be covered. It's a great song. It's a great version. I love the Terry Jacks version. Black Box Recorder, like it's, I don't know. I definitely like Terry Jacks, hands down. So that's mine.
So Seasons of the Sun is like a kind of a cover version anyway of a French song.
Yeah, that was,
and I think it was done in English before. I'm not sure if it was done before the Terry Jacks one, but it's been covered in French original version, and it's a little bit different. But Mike, I've had the Seasons of the Sun one on KTEL and the 45 and whatever. People hate that song and call it like the worst song of the 70s and all that.
What?
I never thought it was all that bad. It's a sad song. It sounds heartfelt. It's the music matches the mood of the song. It's well written. He's saying goodbye to everybody. He knows he's going to die, and I don't understand the. I mean, there's much. I mean, if you want to talk about bad songs from the 70s, I can go 100 that are worse than Seasons in the Sun. It's not the kind of thing you play at a party or something, but it's not a terrible song. And I've always liked that little guitar, boom, that kind of foreboding guitar thing in there. The Black Box Recorder, I don't know who they are either. I don't know why this is a thing. It's so close to the original. It's like, what's the point?
Yeah.
I don't understand the point. So no, the Terry Jacks for me on that. I don't.
Okay.
We're gonna find out the Black Box Recorder is like somebody like it's Tori Amos's. Well, that's why I can't Tori. But I mean, we're gonna find out it's like some it's Kate Bush's original band or something here.
I remember the Terry Jacks song. What was that? 74, 70?
70, yeah, somewhere around there. 73,
yeah.
74.
So yeah, I was in high school, and I don't think anybody at my high school hated the song. It was a good song. We all liked it. It was on the radio a lot. There was one thing about the song that always bugged me, and that was his voice. The plaintiveness of his voice sounded forced to me. It just didn't it didn't feel genuine. You know, so, but it was you know, I liked the song. It was, you know, wasn't one of my favorites of that era, but you know, the black box recorder. Who the fuck is black box recorder? You know, it's like, I'm like, whoa. But then I listened to their cover of it, and quite frankly, I like the black box recorder a lot more.
Wow.
Her voice and the arrangement, they get me to take the song more seriously. I feel like she is relaying the song and telling the story better, because I go back to Terry Jacks and that plaintiveness of his voice, just, I don't know, it's kind of wimpy to me. It just,
he's dying.
It's
Yeah, he's dying.
So on this one, I'm going with the black box version. And incidentally, if you have the interest, you should look up the Nirvana cover. It's pretty.
Nirvana did this?
Yeah. There was a session that was recorded, and it's posted on YouTube of them playing the song. So it's worth checking out.
Wow, that's interesting.
It's been bootlegged since the 90s. That's been going around.
Okay, so yes, it is originally a French song, Les Moribonds, or however you say that, Jacques Brel recorded, and then it was translated into English. It was actually recorded in 1963 first by the Kingston Trio and the Fortunes. Also, the Beach Boys did a recording of it in 1970, but it was never released. They actually didn't finish the whole thing. They wanted Terry to help them with it. It's a little fun fact there for you, because I love fun facts. But Terry, that's a version everybody knows. Everybody knows that version. I remember watching in grade school, watching Vietnam videos, because one of my teachers went to Vietnam, and this is the song he played over while we were watching these videos. That probably in the 5th grade, I shouldn't have been watching that, because they were kind of brutal, but whatever. So I always put this song with that, because I think it's probably the first time I heard the song, and so I always have that image. So maybe the black box recorder kind of takes that image out of my head, because I really like the song. And Sarah Nixie, so black box recorder, British band, their album is called English Made Me. This was originally just a B-side. On the album that was reissued a few years back, there is a 10-inch, and Seasons in the Sun is actually on the 10, the bonus 10. So it's a really, really great album. Anywho, but that's the whole beside the point. And I don't remember when I heard this, or how I heard this, or if it was on a TV program or something. I don't know, but I was just like, oh wow, that's like, I love the way they do this song. And yeah, it's very similar, but her vocals just bring something to it for me. So again, no surprise, I'm going with black box recorder. And oh my gosh, we have our first tie.
Yeah, first tie.
We have our first tie.
Wow. Oh,
Okay.
what is mine? Oh, I have to. Hold on. I'm doing next. Oh, yeah. I am doing Happiness is a Warm Gun by the Beatles, or Happiness is a Warm Gun by Tori Amos.
I think I heard the Tori Amos version once when it was current, and so I was familiar with it, but didn't really remember it. But again, just like we did with Susie and the Banshees last time, we're taking on the White Album and the Beatles, and so and a really kind of creatively written, the vocals are in one time signature, the music's in another time signature, and all that kind of craziness. And then the whole thing with John Lennon singing about a gun and shooting and whatever, and then what happens later, you have that whole aspect. And then Tori Amos, it goes on for 9.5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I get it that she's being very morose and it's a very sparse arrangement, but it's got these kind of cheesy sound bites in it. And I think it's, what is it, George W. Bush or somebody doing some dialogue from him or speech from him or something, or some other things. Kind of sounds like a Queen song or something from 1990. Yeah, I was I mean, I can appreciate the Tori Amos one, but I think there's just some missteps in the production of that. And yeah, I mean, again, it goes up against the Beatles on the White Album, so I'm definitely going with the Beatles for various reasons, the ones I've mentioned.
Yeah, I'm going to be really short with this because the Tori Amos cover of this song for me is just a big no. It just no. And
You can't get much shorter than a 2-letter word review.
the Beatles, man. Yes. Great song. Great song. Tori Amos, no.
No. I was excited when I saw that, when Strange Little Girls came out and I saw that she was doing the song and then I heard it. The thing is that I think if she shaved off like 3-4 minutes, 5 minutes, maybe, it might have helped a little bit not have the sound bites. And there's something talking about John Lennon's death too, sound bites from that too, right? Okay, so there's all this weird, and it goes on way too long. You're like 7 minutes into the song before she starts singing. So I'm of course exaggerating a little bit, but it is very, very long before she actually. And then I don't feel that her arrangement goes. I appreciate that she's trying to do something different. It's just not my favorite. And Happiness is a Warm Gun is my second favorite Beatles song. So
oh wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It is. It is my second favorite Beatles song. First would be Oh Darling. Thank you. That's just a little information there for you. So we obviously know I'm going with Beatles. But a fun fact. There's a little fun fact for you because I love fun facts. Yeah. Okay. Beatles. Duh.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, it's the Beatles. It's John Lennon. It's one of my favorite John Lennon Beatles songs. I kind of look at and I enjoy the Tori Amos version. I almost look at it as almost like a continuation, or almost like a part 2. It's like it doesn't feel like a cover. It just feels like it's kind of, well, here's the Beatles and now here's my little take on what maybe came after, or what I'm
sort of like what
now.
U2 did with John Lennon's God song, and they called it God Part 2.
They did that.
Yeah, Rattle and Hum.
That doesn't sound like a good idea. But yeah, I appreciate the Tori. I don't mind long songs, so that doesn't bother me. But yeah, definitely the Beatles. Definitely. I mean, how can you? Yeah.
Okay, so I chose one that I thought was interesting just because the cover is much more popular than the original, but the singer writes it, and it is Respect from Otis Redding or Aretha Franklin.
I probably will be semi-short with this one too.
No.
I'll start off by saying, Otis Redding, I think he sang this one at the what is it, the music festival,
Monterey.
Yeah, I think he sang it at Monterey.
I think so.
Yeah, and that everything he did in that show, he really gave it his all. And Otis was known for that during live performances. If you ever get a chance, I don't have it handy, but it's Sweet Soul Music by Grolnick, I think is the writer's name. Great book about Stax Records and Muscle Shoals, and it talks about how Otis Redding would intentionally put really powerful singers ahead of him in the lineup, and he always hated who was it, Sam and Dave, going out before him, because Sam and Dave would get the crowd like going crazy, and it would put all his pressure on him, but he would still get the crowd crazy, and he really does that with this song. But come on, it's Aretha Franklin. I mean, again, I go back to what that guy who has the Instagram channel, are you mad? I mean, it's just like she took that song and just totally dismissed Otis and made it her own song and injected such an energy into it. Again, it goes back to in the previous episode what Robert was saying about women taking these songs, and it really comes off so much better and stronger. That this woman is singing this song asking for respect. And when a man is asking for respect, it's just kind of like, are you weenie? What the hell's going on? I mean, but this is
True.
Aretha. Yeah, she took this song and took it again to. I mean, it's again. I love the way that guy on Instagram says, "Are you stupid?" It's just like he just builds it. She builds that song up, and it's like she throws this power out in the song, and it never wavers. It's just there all the way through. So it's Otis makes it his song, and it really was difficult for me, because Otis does really make this his song, but Aretha just took it away from him. It was like, I'm sorry, no, that's not your song. It's mine now. And so, yeah, I'm going to go with Aretha.
Aretha. My love for Otis Redding is unwavering. I have loved his voice does something to me that I cannot put in words. There's just something about Otis Redding. His voice to me, the way he delivers songs, the way it's pure, just, I don't know, it's sexual. There is just something about Otis Redding, and it has been that way for me since the very first time I heard Try a Little Tender, right? Yeah. No, that's Otis, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God. I was like questioning myself. Yes.
So it's Carla Thomas.
I heard that.
You're all worked up.
I know. I'm it's like I'm talking about D'Angelo. Otis and D'Angelo. Oh, I'm just all a fluster.
You need to turn off your camera for a minute.
Oh my God, just give me a moment. I gotta step away. But his version of this, which he wrote it and it's his, and it's I don't think he sells it as well as Aretha does. So I struggle. This is probably was the hardest one for me because of the love I have for this man. It's and cigarettes and coffee. Get that song on and out. Anyways, we're going off course here. But then Aretha she brings it. and it's brought in, and it's continued to be brought, and she not stopping. So this is Aretha for me as well. So although I love you, Otis, no disrespect, my boo, but yeah.
Yeah,
No, I see you there.
this one definitely the hardest one we've done. Because I love Otis. I love Aretha. I found myself like listening to the live Otis Respect, which is freaking unreal. And then I was like, well, wait, you can't compare that to like, I mean, and she's done some incredible versions live too.
Yes.
But, and I think I said this with last week, her version is kind of known. Like probably 50% of the people who know this song don't know it's an Otis Redding song. You know, olds like us do. But most people, it's an Aretha Franklin song for most people. And what she does for it, the studio version, the fact that I think another thing for me, Blues Brothers. You know, she's in that scene in Blues Brothers. Yeah. And wait, was that Think or was that Respect?
It's Think.
It's Think, right? Yeah. But she, you know, she just freaking sells it, and again, like Robert said, a woman singing it just fucking gives it that punch that it really, really needs. But then I go back and I listen to the Otis live, and it's like, holy crap, this guy is unbelievable. But it's Aretha Franklin, also unbelievable. So I don't know what I'm going with Aretha on this one, but I mean, I could just as easily listen to the Otis any old time, man. It's great. They're both great.
I like Otis Redding. I don't think I like him as much as most people do, but I like some of his songs. Sitting on the Dock of the Bay was one of the first soul songs I ever heard, so he's way early. That's on my one of those 2 8-track compilations that I would listen to as like a 3-year-old. And so Sitting on the Dock of the Bay is probably the first soul song I ever heard. But, you know, his version of Respect to me, and I don't know the live one, but it just sounds like an Otis Redding song. It could be any Otis Redding song, whereas the Aretha Franklin one is so iconic and so, I mean, not only her voice and the way that she handles the song and, like Richard said, makes it her own, but also just the production of it and everything about it. The way the horns come on immediately, you hear 1 second of that song, you know exactly what it is. It comes on blasting away, and she's, you know, like the woman demanding respect instead of a man asking for respect, which that happens in all kinds of songs. You know, oh baby, I work so hard and whatever. Well, now it's the woman with the money, and it's 1967, and she's going to give you all her money, you know, and all she's asking for a return is some respect. And
suck it to me.
Right, and the whole sock it to me thing. Yeah, I mean, it launched her career as a superstar. I mean, she had a whole series of albums on Columbia before that, but they were just okay. They didn't really, you know, she was your typical artist or whatever. And then she switches to Atlantic and comes out with that, and she's off and running. Now she's really Aretha Franklin. And so it basically is this is almost like a debut album, even though it's not. Just because it just launched her into the stratosphere. And then Respect is the very first single from it. Respect is the very first track. And yeah, I'm definitely going with the Aretha Franklin one. Proof that, you know, a cover version can sometimes be, in my opinion, miles ahead of the original. And I probably heard the Aretha Franklin one long before I heard the Otis Redding one too.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I had no idea that it was an Otis Redding song.
I probably didn't hear Otis Redding until I was in my teens.
Yeah.
Late teens.
Yeah. All right. Well, my song is Smokestack Lightning.
Smokestack Lightning.
With the Howlin' Wolf version versus the Grateful Dead's live cover of it. And I was thinking of from Bear's Choice, that particular recording.
There were quite a few of those. I don't remember which one I did. It was like 13 minutes long. So is the
Yeah,
are they
probably the Bears' choice.
okay.
One.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So, yeah, it was very long. It was good. I enjoyed it, but I don't know. Howlin' Wolf is just I don't. Yeah, it's Howlin' Wolf. So I don't know that I really need to say any more than that. Yeah, it's Howlin' Wolf.
Yeah, I love the Grateful Dead version. I love Pigpen's voice and his playing and everything. It's probably my favorite. Well, no, it's probably my favorite Pigpen cover that the Grateful Dead did. There's probably some songs of his I like better, but they're more original stuff. Yeah, I'm going with Howlin' Wolf, man. I there's his vocals is just. I've always loved Howlin' Wolf and just the way he sings and it's just so authentic. You know, I'm not saying no, it feels more authentic and real for me. But yeah, I'm going with the Howlin' Wolf.
I'm the guy that's always said I like the Grateful Dead studio tracks more than their live music. This is coming from the one I heard. I'm assuming the one you wanted was History of the Grateful Dead Volume 1, Bear's Choice, with the red,
Yes.
white, and blue cover from 1973. And Smokestack Lightning on there is 18 minutes long.
Oh, okay.
And so, yeah, it takes up pretty much
Sorry.
side two. There's another song after it, Hard to Handle, speaking of Otis Redding.
Yeah.
But most of the side two is Smokestack Lightning, and it just goes on and on and on and on. It doesn't get into this. I mean, some songs go on and on. You don't want them to end because they're locked into such a groove and it's such a feel, and it can go on for an entire side. Like, I don't know, Mother Sky from Can or something like that. But this one doesn't do that. It just meanders to me. It just, it's like, okay, you're just noodling. Now you're boring me. I'm 8 minutes in and I've still got 10 minutes left and I'm just wanting it to, this is okay. I'm ready for trucking or something. And so, yeah, Smokestack, Howlin' Wolf, definitely. This is not on this album, but yeah, Howlin' Wolf, put a G on the end of it. Concise, bluesy, authentic, guitar riff that these old blues guys just do these things so incredibly. You like, how are you getting that feel and that sound out of such primitive recordings, and just like it's all live in studio and just like captured, and that's definitely one of them. And so, yeah, definitely Howlin' Wolf.
For me, both of these are really, really good because I just really love when Pigpen sang these kinds of songs when and they would do blues and I like when they go off, and to me it's not noodling, but it's a long ass song, but my attention, I don't fall asleep during it, that's for sure. And the combination of Jerry's playing and Pigpen's voice really made this a hard decision for me, because Howlin' Wolf's version is succinct, it's on point, it delivers and it doesn't over deliver, and it's a great song. I mean, Howlin' Wolf in that voice and the way that he howls, it's just absolutely incredible. So this was I had to think about this for a long time. I will say that the Dead's cover to me is an outstanding cover. I would give it 5 out of 5 as Mike runs away.
No, I'm letting my cat in the room. The litter boxes.
But I will agree.
Let him in, buddy.
I will agree that Howlin' Wolf's original has that has just a little more gut to it.
Yeah.
Than what Pigpen provides. That's what it comes down to. There's a little more gut.
Yeah.
So yeah, Howlin' Wolf for that one.
Boop. Howlin' Wolf. Okay. So next we have Everybody's Talking. Fred Neil, the original, versus The Beautiful South, which, you know, I have the 2 different versions of the same album. I don't have Fred Neil. But yes, there you have it.
Yep. Well, I'll take the Harry Nilsson song over both of these.
Mm-hmm.
By far. Oh my God, the Harry Nilsson version blows both of these away. But and I hadn't heard the Fred Neil version in a long time, so I re-listened to that. It's fine. And The Beautiful South, we're all familiar with The Beautiful South here on the Vinyl Community Guncles, because that's Craig's favorite band.
One of them.
I actually like the Beautiful South version better than the Fred Neil. I really do. I really enjoyed it. They have beautiful voices. Her voice is great, man. It's just terrific. Yeah, but give me Harry Nilsson. That's not a choice, though. But yeah, I'm going with The Beautiful South on this one.
Yeah, I will agree that the Nilsson one is miles better than either of these two, even though Fred Neil is the writer. I didn't even realize that. I thought Harry Nilsson wrote this, but no, I guess Fred Neil wrote it and did it first. The Nilsson one is from Midnight Cowboy, and it has this whole feel to it of just puts you right in the whole
makes that move.
Oh man, and just right in the late 60s. I mean, it's just like there's certain songs that just do that. They just put you right in a thing. Even if you weren't alive or weren't around or whatever, you get a sense of what this is probably what, it's just brilliant. The whole thing, the production, the music, vocal, everything about it. Yeah. Just everything works. So it was nice to hear the Fred Neil one because I didn't realize that was a thing. I thought I knew Fred Neil did it. I didn't realize he wrote it and did the original one. It's close to the Nilsson one. It's the same kind of arrangement and everything. And he's the folky guy with the acoustic guitar. And, it sounds almost like a demo of, like maybe this was submitted to Nilsson or something and he did the song. But no, this is an actual recording and it was a single and all of that. The Beautiful South one, I did not like the synth in that. I don't think that belongs in that song at all. That high little keyboard thing they got going on. I don't think that belongs in that song at all. Her voice does not suit the lyrics at all. Of somebody who, just this whole everybody's talking at me. I can't hear a word, only the echoes of my mind. Just this, I can't let you leave. Just the whole thing. Wow, that is captured so well in that Nilsson version. And then the Fred Neil one kind of does it as well, but the Beautiful South one does not. It doesn't fit that. That doesn't go together with me at all. I didn't like that. So I'm going with the Fred Neil one.
Fun fact.
Yay!
Fun facts.
I do love fun facts.
So when Fred Neil was recording the album that this song appeared on, this song was not written. And the production crew told him, we need another song. So he wrote a song right there in the studio and performed it in one take. And that was this song, Everybody's Talking at Me. And when you got that going on and you realize and you listen to the lyrics, you can hear, because he wanted to get home. He needed to drive from the studio down to Miami where he lived. And so he puts this song together everybody's talking at me, and he just wants to get home. Okay, so he's going to write this song. I thought, reading about that, I liked the song anyway. I think it's a wonderful song. And yes, the Harry Nilsson song from Midnight Cowboy is fantastic as well, and perhaps better. But knowing that about the situation, to me, just adds this whole other dimension to this song that he basically wrote on the spot, just so he could get the hell out of the studio. I thought that was pretty cool. The Beautiful South cover, yeah, it's okay. So, the Fred Neil version is the one for me. And I always liked it too. I mean, I remember as a kid hearing that song, and I always loved the song. And when Midnight Cowboy came out, I didn't necessarily hear the Harry Nilsson version because I was too young to watch the movie. My older siblings had all seen the movie, and they were talking about what a great movie it was. And eventually, when I did watch the movie, it's a good movie. It's a very quirky movie.
Very dated, of course, but it has John Voight in it now, so it's like, okay.
Well, John Voight wasn't my type. Neither is Dustin Hoffman.
Well, I just mean knowing what happened with him. It's hard to watch his movies now.
I really love the Fred Neil version. But yeah, Beautiful South, it's decent. But to me, there's nothing special about it or anything unique about it.
I liked it.
I did not.
Well. I mean, yes, Harry Nilsson, which for the longest time I thought that was the original as well, but it is not. I don't know. There is something about Jackie's voice on this that just brings it home for me, and I love the dreaminess of it. I love the different sounds. I love that it's not bulky. I don't know. I obviously I chose this. So, and the Beautiful South is one of my favorite bands. So, there you have it. Jackie all the way, every day. Yeah, Jacqueline Abbott. That's the best female out of the three vocalists with the Beautiful South. She is the best one, and so it goes to the Beautiful South for me. And there you have it. We have another tie.
Okay, this one I don't know. I guess I don't know. I probably didn't put a lot of thought in. This one I feel like I mailed in, but this one is "I Love Rock and Roll" by the Arrows, or "I Love Rock and Roll" by Joan Jett and the Blackhearts.
I know I grabbed this. Oh, okay. It's over there. Yeah, so no, I'm glad you did this because I had never heard the Arrows version, and I always I always meant to. It's one of those things I'm gonna, I'd hear, I'd be reminded that that's a cover, and I gotta hear that at some point, and then you'd forget about it, and then life goes on, and so for 25 years I've wanted. I have mine too.
I grabbed it for you.
But for 25 years, I wanted to hear this and just never got around, and it takes 3 minutes to listen to this. And so I am glad. I think, I mentioned in the last episode that Richard had the hardest one. I think this one is the one that I was looking forward to hearing more than any of these others, so it's interesting that you say you just kind of picked this one and voted in. But now I've heard it. And it sounds like, to me, similar to everybody's talking, it sounds like a demo that they did, and the real one is the Joan Jett one. It sounds like a bar band, and a primitive recording of a bar band. It doesn't do anything. The Joan Jett one is the one. I mean, not only have I heard that for decades, but The Arrows, man, I thought it was, I don't know who the Arrows are, but I thought they were going to be more of like a punky kind of, it was going to be more of a punk type thing. And it was just this kind of bar bandy kind of lo-fi recording, vocals are kind of off type of thing. It sounds, like I said, it sounds like a demo. And then going back to what we've mentioned now 3 or 4 times, Joan Jett talking about, I saw him standing there by the record machine. I knew he must have been about 17, is a totally different take from a woman's point than just another fucking guy talking about some teenage girl. I don't know how old these guys are presenting themselves as, but I knew she must have been about 17. I'm so tired of that at this point. Hearing these leering guys talk about these teenage girls, whereas Joan Jett, I imagine her being like singing like from the perspective of like a younger girl, and the guy is 17, meaning he's older, and she's wild, and she's that girl in high school that was dating like the guy 3 years older than her, 2 years older than her, out of her class, or he's a senior, she's a sophomore, but she's so bold and experienced or whatever, and we won't talk about what happens later on in her life, but in high school she ruled. It's that girl, and Joan Jett totally sells it, totally nails it. And the recording is so much more tough and so much more, just gritty and just blasting out. No contest. Joan Jett and the Blackhearts for me for that. But I am glad I finally got to hear the Arrows and know what they sound like now. But yeah, Joan Jett, big time.
Yeah, same reaction for me. To me, it was a Joan Jett song all along, and to find out, oh, this band called the Arrows did it. So, and I listened to it, and it was what I listened to was, it was a solid song. It was a good song. But again, like Robert was saying, for a woman to be singing this song is so much more, just so much more in your face and so much more powerful and fresh. And Joan Jett was, another, there was in the 70s and going into the 80s, there were some real sass coming from some women in rock and roll. You had Joan Jett, you had Susie Quattro, you had Pat Benatar, and there were others, and it kind of carrying on that legacy that perhaps was started by Janis Joplin. Someone who held her own with the men around her, and she had plenty of men around her, and it's just everything about it. Her voice is more authentic. It's like she not only owns that song, but she owns that boy by the record machine. It's she's got it going on. That's what I like about that song. So yeah, it's, to me, definitely the Joan Jett cover.
Agreed. I never heard the Arrows either, so I knew it was cover. I've always known it's cover. Never heard the original. I don't know that I needed to. Another one of my very first, cassette tapes that I owned on my own was I Love Rock and Roll. So, Joan Jett, so good. Anyways, Joan Jett.
Yeah, I Love Rock and Roll. That's how you do a covers album.
Mm-hmm.
That whole thing is covers, pretty much. I think the whole thing is.
Pretty much.
That's how you do a cover album. You make it your own fucking record, and that's a Dave. No, there was one before that, right? Solo record before that. Yeah. But man, that put her on the map for the next 50 fucking years, man. She's still doing it, and I mean, you guys said it. Just blows away. And again, that's the version everyone thinks is the definitive version. Kind of, we've been talking about for 2 weeks, you know, and that's the one, man. It's freaking awesome, man. I love Joan Jett.
So Mike keeps his unanimous streak going. All his selections, including last week's, have been unanimous.
I pick one good song.
Two of them have been covers, and two of them have been originals. So it's not always the cover, or it's been half and half. That's interesting. So my final one for this episode is the song Venus, the original by The Shocking Blue, or the cover by Bananarama. Both big hits.
Yeah,
both very big.
I was unfamiliar with the Bananarama cover. I knew Shocking Blue. And that guitar in the original is so fantastic. How can you touch that? It's just such a, right from the start, bam, I don't know, you're going to hear a song that is special. It's something that's going to be in your head for a long time. And it's been that way. I mean, when it comes to Shocking Blue, there aren't a lot of other songs I can think of, by them. But that song, damn, it's you hear that song and that's it. That's the version. So Bananarama, I thought, okay, this will be kind of interesting. And yeah, it's a fun cover. It would be a fun cover, a fun song for the dance club. It's a good, dancing mix, for at a dance club or something like that. But it doesn't even come close, in my opinion, to the Shocking Blue original. It's to me, it's just they're not only in different rooms, they're in different buildings. It's just not even close. And Shocking Blue is on the top floor, and Bananarama is in the basement. And the basement doesn't have a concrete floor; it's a dirt floor.
Oh wow!
That is how wide the gap is, and I'm still saying that, hey, it's a decent cover. I'm not saying it's an awful cover.
It's fine.
But the Shocking Blue is, yes. I mean, yes. That's the version. That's the song. That's the one I want to listen to. And I really, I've heard Bananarama enough.
Well, this is another one that, Bananarama was the original to me, but because, I'm an 80s kid. But and I don't know when I heard Shocking Blues version, which is great. Which is like they're different songs to me. Like it's the same lyrics, it's the same, but there's a different feel. There's a different feel to the Shocking Blues, definitely more like rocking and more like, I don't know. But then there's just something so fun about Bananarama's version. And it's just, you just want to dance, you just want to have a gay old time and shave your legs with the Venus razor. And because, that was also in the commercial later on, but whatever.
Oh, that's right. Oh,
that's yes. But as no surprise to anyone, I'm going with Bananarama. So
I'm also a child of the 80s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm not a Bananarama fan. I don't like their music at all. But it's a solid cover. I mean, it's I guess if you want to dance to it or whatever, it's good. But the Shocking Blue version, I mean, that guitar riff is so fucking iconic, and it's just everything about it. I loved her voice too. I wish they had stayed around a lot longer, but I gotta go with Shocking Blue. This was an easy one for me because yeah, I don't like Bananarama, but it's a decent cover. You know, it's a decent '80s pop cover. That's what it is. So, but I definitely prefer the guitar-driven Shocking Blue.
Yeah, I mean, I heard this song for the first time when I was a kid. It was on a K-Tel album called Today's Super Greats. I didn't know what they looked like, but it's wild because I love this. This is probably my favorite song on the whole album. And when it's a K-Tel album, there's like 20 at that point. They were like doing the ones with 20 songs on them. And so it's wild because I didn't know what they looked like or what she looked like, but I thought she had I thought that was just the coolest sounding song ever. And I thought she had the coolest voice ever. And then when I finally saw her, what I was imagining she looked like was exactly what she looked like. And it was so weird. And another thing that was weird was I was a little kid and I didn't know anything. And so I thought someday I'm going to marry a woman that looks just like that. She is so beautiful.
Oh,
that didn't work out.
She is so cool looking with that long hair and the makeup and everything. There she is. The Shocking Blue. But yeah, I just they're a Dutch band, so I'm sure they probably have more hits, you know, in their original land, you know, where they're from or whatever. I know that the American album is like a compilation of their first couple of albums or whatever, but I definitely always meant to get more of theirs. I like a lot of the songs on there. Yeah, I mean, I was just in love with this song for so long, and as a kid, and then still, it was one of those ones that still sounded so cool. Like years and years later, I still love this song. The guitar, not only the acoustic part, but that weird, you know, almost sounds like a sitar, but it's not. The lead guitar, and she is, and just her whole presence and everything. Yeah. So Mariska Veras, I think is her name. Mariska something. And that whole like hair turned out to be a wig.
Oh.
But yeah.
But
her makeup and everything, I mean, it's just so nice. Yeah. It's so 1970. But the Bananarama came out, and I didn't like it originally because I'm like, how dare you take that song and turn it into some silly whatever. But all these years later, I can appreciate that as an up-tempo 80s pop song. You know, it's very energetic. It's dance floor. It's, you know, they do what they're going to do with it. They don't trash it. It's not like it's Limp Bizkit's cover of Faith or something like that, or, you know, where it's just ruined. But yeah, it's not. It's like Richard said; those are two completely. Well, it's like Craig said; they're two completely different fields. They're in two completely different buildings, and the Shocking Blue is so special to me. That version, and her, and you know, the investigating their other songs. The only other one I think most Americans know is Love Buzz because Nirvana covered it. So maybe that could be another one. Do you want the Shocking Blue version of Love Buzz or Nirvana's version? But they have a lot of really cool. She's just so cool.
Yeah.
She's groovy.
Unfortunately, she's passed away. But yeah, Shocking Blue, without any hesitation. So
that guitar riff is just, to me, is what makes that. That's
everything about it. I mean, just the guitar riff, and then the next thing comes with the keyboard, and then the next thing, and then her vocal comes on. It's like, how good is this song going to get? And the lyrics.
Yeah.
I just remember that K-Tel album with, you know, it's got some 70s, it's early 70s, and it's, you know, got some kitsch on there, and it's got some poppy and boogie woogie and everything that's going on with this early 70s, and then that comes on, and it's just like, what is this? Yeah, it was blew me away.
All right, well, for mine is a Little Richard song, Directly from My Heart to You, and then the cover by the Mothers of Invention.
Yeah, I'd never heard either version before, so yeah. This is really early Little Richard, right?
No. It's middle, I think,
Middle.
early 60s.
Really?
Maybe.
I don't know. I just his voice doesn't sound right to me on it, but which is a good song, but this is weird because I think I actually liked the Mothers of Invention version better. Like I'm like, I don't know. I just felt like it just worked better. Maybe again, it might be his vocals just didn't sound right to me on this particular track, but yeah.
Wow.
I'm choosing a Mothers of Invention song over Little Richard.
Mark this day.
Well, I just marked it down, but yeah.
It is early. It's 1956.
Okay, because I thought
But
it was.
it's a weird. It's very early actually because it's a Peacock. It's before he went to Specialty, and they released it after he was kind of big with Tutti Frutti and Longtown South. They basically went into the vaults, and Peacock tried to release this, and it didn't really do too much.
Okay.
Well, I had never heard. I loved Little Richard. I had never heard it. It definitely feels early. I like that middle. Actually, I kind of like the late Little Richard. You know, even the 70s, late 60s, 70s. I love that Little Richard stuff. And I had heard the Zappa version before, and I'm with Craig on this. I'm going with the Mothers of Invention on this. I love what they do with it. It's great. I really dig it. I totally dig it. And I think the recording of the Little Richard is not well. It's not a good recording, and that's probably why his voice sounds so strange on it. I think maybe if it was a little bit later Little Richard song, I might have changed my mind on it. But yeah, no, I love what Zappa does with this. I really dig it. So I'm going with Zappa on this. I was surprised because when I saw your list, Richard, I was like, I don't know. It's a Little Richard song. I don't know. But yeah, I'm going with Zappa.
Yeah, there's a lot of different versions of this, so I don't know what version everybody listened to. I listened to the single one that was released in the 50s. And like I said, when it was released, it was they're scraping studio tracks here to try to capitalize on his popularity on Specialty Records with all the big hits like Tutti Frutti and Rip It Up and Golly Miss Molly and all that. So they're plundering their vaults and going, oh, we've got some Little Richard stuff we can still put out that he recorded when he was with us. And this was one of them. And it's not even the A side, it's the B side. So it's not prime Little Richard. He's with Johnny Otis's band, and it's not well recorded. Like I said, there are different recordings of this. Little Richard is notorious for that, making 5 and 6 different versions of songs and different labels and whatever. I was familiar with the Frank Zappa one because this is from the very first Mothers of Invention album I ever owned. And the reason I have it is because it was in a book that I mention a lot in my videos called The Cover of Rock and Roll, or the face of rock and roll, where it's all album covers. And I got it when I was like 8 or 9 years old. In fact, there's a Super 8 movie of Christmas when actually my brother got this, and I'm like, why are you and I'm arguing with him that should be mine in this little 8mm. I actually posted it on Facebook a long time ago, but it's in there. And so not the best Mothers of Invention album to start with by any stretch. I think it's an actual outtake album, but Weasels Rip My Flesh is what it's on. But this song, the Mothers of Invention version, reminds me of a morning show that I used to be on, where the morning show host had a really good talent of surrounding himself with interesting people, while he was just kind of like back here as the master of ceremonies, which made him look like the genius and the talented whatever, but it was really all the people around him. And that's where this song, it's Don Sugarcane Harris who's got the fiddle and the vocal, and I believe that Lowell George is on this. And so you've got all these talented people. Frank Zappa, I don't know where he is. But that's the point. Is it really a Frank Zappa song, or is he just back here going, "Yeah, I like that's you can be in the band. Like, I'll put you in, I'll just stand back here, and my name will be on it. How about that?" And that's kind of like the morning show I was on for a while, and all the interesting characters were other people.
Wait, on that morning show, were you the host, or were you one of the
No.
interesting people?
I was definitely one of the interesting people.
Uh-huh.
And I definitely wasn't anywhere near the most interesting one. I mean, you had colorful characters, and they were real. That was their real life, and we were just putting it on the radio. No, I was the guy that wrote the parody songs, and
you've told us about this.
Yeah, and the Frank Zappa one I won't even call it the Frank Zappa one. The Mothers of Invention one sounds really great because you've got all these really talented people involved. And so I am going to go with the Mother of Invention one. I'm shocked myself. I thought it was going to be a no contest. Little Richard against Frank Zappa. But it's not really Frank Zappa, right? And it's definitely not prime Little Richard. It's Vault Little Richard that the record company released to capitalize on his later popularity. So yeah, it's not a fair fight, but Mothers of Invention.
Yeah, that I listened to the original single too for Little Richard, and while you get sort of the essence of the song, from that time, it is a really rough, primitive recording, but at the same time, it's I wouldn't necessarily call it Little Richard at his best, but it's
a good song.
It is a good song that he did. And one thing that love him or hate him or whatever, Frank Zappa had a fondness for 50s music, 50s blues, 50s doo-wop, and he would do a lot of covers that sometimes sounded a little satirical or facetious, but he really loved that music. And yeah, this cover, I mean, Sugarcane Harris, the electric violin playing, his vocals. I've picked up some other Sugarcane Harris records, and they sound nothing like what he did with the Mothers of Invention. Zappa had a knack for collecting people and getting the best out of them, and orchestrating music that led to or played to their strengths. And he really, the times that Sugarcane Harris recorded with him are some fantastic recordings. The slow plodding, I think it's the bass that goes through that song that is so, I don't know, it's so good, so great. And so, yeah, I definitely have to go with the Mothers of Invention cover. Yeah. And when you listen to that album, Weasels Rip My Flesh, this is definitely anachronistic to the rest of the album. I mean, there's a couple other more or less straight songs on there, but to me, this is the highlight of that album. It's just, I just love what Sugarcane Harris does with not just the violin, but his voice. He carries that song. So yeah,
that's great.
There you go. Wow, we wound up another one.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that was fun.
We went fast on that one.
Some surprises, and
yeah,
for me anyway.
Yeah,
and got to hear the Arrows finally.
Yes.
Didn't know about the Fred Neil. So yeah, let us know which ones you prefer. We did have some, unanimous ones. Like I said, the two from Mike were unanimous again. We all liked the Beatles over Tori Amos, Happiness is a Warm Gun. We all chose Joan Jett over the Arrows with I Love Rock and Roll. We all chose Howlin' Wolf over the Grateful Dead with Smokestack Lightning. We all chose Mothers of Invention over Little Richard, Directly from My Heart. We were completely split on both of Craig's with Terry Jackson Black Box Recorder, Seasons in the Sun, and Fred Neil and the Beautiful Souths. Everybody's Talking. And then we were unanimous with Aretha Franklin over Otis Redding and Respect. And we were almost unanimous with Shocking Blue over Bananarama and Venus.
I mean, I recognize that Shocking Blue's version is better. I get it, but like I said, they're different songs to me, so I have more of a nostalgia. It was later when I heard the original, so probably in my late 20s. So yeah.
All right, so join us again. We will be back with an album review. Does anybody remember the album we're supposed to be reviewing?
You chose the shit, and it's the
right, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Love Beach.
Now I remember.
Love Beach. Ugh.
Yes, I listened to it the other day.
Love Beach is coming up.
I can't wait.
We'll be heading to Love Beach. We'll be heading to
Love Beach
with the tops and bottoms of that year, and we might even play our game again coming up.
Sure, why not?
I really wish you would stop talking about the damn game. It's never going to happen.
Never happening.
It's never happening.
That's the one where we come up with questions for each other, and the other three have to come up with as many answers as possible, and we go around. It's so much fun.
Yeah, remember
and I
that
make a complete idiot out of
an
myself.
unaired. Yeah, there's still an unaired.
There's one that's so bad that it hasn't even been uploaded yet.
Well, just use it when you need something extra, and we'll do a disclaimer or something.
No,
y'all, this is shit.
So join us for all that, and comment on what covers that you might like us to. Well, you know what? We'll just choose our own. How about that?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. There's the choices are endless. So.
Yes. I mean, we could do this again with the same song with same originals with different covers. I mean, it just
true. Sure.
All right. So thank you so much for watching. We are the Vinyl Community Guncles. I'm Robert Fitton, along with
Richard here at Kelvin Wazoo.
Greg. Vinyl Plethora. Oh, Jesus.
Mike at Hub Tunes.
Hopefully we'll talk to you again next time. We head to Love Beach.
Yes. Love Beach. I'm going there for a holiday.
Love Beach.
So sexy.